What's up, guys? Welcome to round two, day two of the Legacy mock draft. I'm quickly just going to play an intro video for the few people out there that don't know what the Legacy mock is. This is round two of the draft. I took Ashton Jeanty in day one. What's up, guys? Some of you might be familiar with what this mock draft is, and others might be asking yourself, what is the Legacy mock draft? Well, since you asked, I'm going to go ahead and explain it. It's a special show, a once-a-year event like no other, a 32-person mock draft. This is the 2025 Legacy Mock, where every team is represented by a sports writer or superfan of their respected franchise, and it's a live 3-day, 7-round, 32-person mock draft. Round one is Friday night at 7 Central. Round two is Saturday afternoon at noon Central, and day three starts noon on Sunday. Round one, we get 5 minutes per pick, while day two cuts it down to 3 minutes per pick, and day three is just 2 minutes per pick. Over the last half a decade at least, the Legacy Mock has been one of the more accurate you will find at predicting what players are going to go in the first round. Not always getting the right players with the right teams, but I feel like the players are drafted more closely to where they go in the real NFL draft. It's easily much more accurate than any mock simulator you're going to find. I personally do not run the event. I'm just the person in charge of running the Chicago Bears draft room and making the picks. They do a ton of work behind the scenes, and I have so much fun participating in these every year. Please like the video, and I hope you enjoy as well. Now bear down and let's get back to the draft. What's up, guys? We're in round two. There's a lot of players on the board, and I actually had a couple trades I was working on behind the scenes. I don't know if they're going to go through or not. The one I had one worked out, because when you're looking at this board right now, right? We got out of day one, and I was like, there's a couple players on this board that shouldn't be there. Hopefully no spies watching, but Nick Scorton, Nick Amanawore, the safety, Tyler Booker, the guard, and a couple others as well. I had a trade worked out. Let me see. Let me find the details of the trade I had. So I had two of them I was working on. Let's see, where's my details of it? So the Steelers tried to rip me off a little bit. The Steelers offered me pick 62 and 125 for 39. So I'd be going back like 23 picks to get a fourth rounder. The value was just not there. It just wasn't even close on the draft board. So I turned that down. But I had a deal worked out with Buffalo. This was the deal, okay? They were going to give me 34 and 51 and 109. And I would have gave them 39 and 41. So basically, I would have moved up from 39 to 41. So I move up 5 spots. But then with 41, I'd move down 10 spots from 41 to 51. But I'd also pick up a fourth rounder, 109. I think he ended up taking another deal. But I had that. My plan there was I'd be guaranteed to get one of the guys I actually wanted. I do have another deal potentially on the table here too, where I'm trying to maybe move down from 41. So far, the only team interested is the Packers. And I'm a little hesitant to deal with the Green Bay Packers, you know? I'm a little hesitant. Wait, we're 4 minutes in. We should have had a pick already. Where we at? Day two. Get it in. Okay, we started 2 minutes late. Okay, it was 2 minutes late. All right. He's got about a minute and a half left. He's got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Browns are typing up their pick. Round two is officially underway. Ooh! They took wide receiver Jack Beck out of TCU. I like it. So we are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks now in front of us. 5 picks in front of us. And there's 2 guys that really stand out to me on the draft board right now. 2 guys just really stand out. And then there's a bunch of others. Let me read some of the names. I'm not going to read them in order, just in case there's one of the other team's GMs out there watching. But here's some of the players on the board right now, okay? Gray Zabel, the guard center from North Dakota State. Princely Uman-Mielen, the pass rusher from Ole Miss. Donovan Jackson, the guard from Ohio State. Tyleik Williams, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. Landon Jackson, that's another one. Darius Alexander, Xavier Watts. Tyler Booker, Nick Emanowore, Nick Scorton, however you want to say it. But a lot of talent on the board right now. We're only 5 picks away. And this is what I'm actually more excited for day 2 of the Bears draft than I am round 1. Round 1, we're going to get the best player on the board. Day 2, though, it's so exciting, the potential guys that could fall here. So I'm really excited for this. Yeah, Buffalo did a different move up. So my trade up deal got killed. Buffalo ended up picking up pick 37. So Buffalo has two picks right here. They're probably targeting the same guys I am. Let's see what they end up doing. Hopefully they take a cornerback with at least one of them. Josh Simmons is already off the board, so he's not best available. He went to New Orleans. So, I mean, the best available Buckeyes right now, Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson are on the board. But I don't need a running back. So you have Tyleik Williams. You have Jack Sawyer. You have Donovan Jackson. I think that's... Oh! Tyleik Williams is gone. All right, Bills. He took my guy. I should have taken this trade. He took Tyleik Williams. This is a good pick. I can't argue with this one. I cannot argue with it. I have a potential deal on the table with the Packers, okay? Let me read that deal over for you guys who want the trade back, okay? It's only if the player they want is there, though. I would give them pick 41 and our first pick in the 7th round. So 41 and 230. And they would give me 54 and 87. So I'd pick up an extra pick in round 3, and I'd only go down 13 spots. Look, they're the only people that message me. I don't know. It depends on how the board falls. But if my guy, if I can't get 2 super studs, I think trading down and getting an extra pick here is beautiful. I think it'd be perfect. Getting pick 80. I think it'd work out. That's one of the ones that'd work out best for both of us. JT Tui goes at 35. I really like this one because I have JT Tui. I like him as a player, but I have 3 or 4 edge rushers I like better than JT Tui here. So I'm glad he's gone. No, Nolan got taken right at the end of round 1. The Giants traded up and landed him at pick 30. So Walter Nolan is off the board. I'll scroll back up for the first round here, let you guys see who went. The only crazy pick in first round was Savion Williams, the wide receiver out of TCU. And the Chiefs GM, apparently he's a new GM to the league. We lost our Chiefs guy, so it's a new GM. I do like the player. I just think the pick was a little bit too high. Scrolling up here, just quickly go through these for you guys. I can't take Henderson, Viz, because I already got, first round, we got Ashton Jeanty. So no way I take Henderson. We have Ashton Jeanty already, so no Henderson, but let's see what the grades are. Actually, you guys graded it pretty good. Only 6% F so far. Most people like the Jeanty. It's just the loud minority, huh? Do you like Simmons at 10? I think it's an option. I actually have a video, Skip, breaking down all of our options at 10 later today. Someone else asked about Henderson and Jenkins. Which one do I like better? It's really like a pick your poison. What kind of player do you want? So there's not really. Here's what I did. Let me go ahead and switch to this tab. What I did is I went ahead and manually entered the picks on PFF. Let me go ahead and update the recent picks. So Jack Beck went. I didn't change the teams or anything. Let's see. Tyleik Williams went. Who else just went? JT Tui. So here, this is what PFF has as the best available, right? Omarion Hampton somehow is still on the board. Obviously, if I could go back now, if I knew I might have a chance at getting Omarion Hampton on day 2, which I don't think is realistic at all. I think he's gone in the first round in the real draft. And even so, he's not getting by the Raiders, I don't think. But Omarion Hampton's on the board. Gray Zabel, Kevin Winston, Nick Scorton, Darius Alexander, Elick Ayomanor, Benjamin Morrison, TJ Sanders, Xavier Watson, Jaden Higgins, Landon Jackson, Princely Umon Mielen, Braden Swinson. Here's Tyler Booker, Donovan Jackson. Scrolling down a little bit more, Carson Schweisinger, Jack Sawyer. For some reason, they got one of these guys rated a little bit too low right here. We're not even going to say his name. Oh, I clicked it. Nobody saw that. Azariah Thomas should be off the board by now. This guy's a first-round pick, probably, in my opinion. But these are the best players available. I can tab over and show you guys this occasionally, but I'll keep it on the draft board for now. I like Gray Zabel. Right now, my problem with that. Oh, he's gone. They took Nick Amanawore. Okay, so now I don't even have to worry about that. I gotta say, if I was gonna trade up, Amanawore might have been my target. I was considering it, and if he fell to 39, I was all over it. But Omarion Hampton is still on the board. All right, Buffalo's on the clock. Nick Amanawore is gone now. Let me go ahead and take him off the board in my drafty. That's a guy, I think he's probably a first-round pick. Amanawore probably goes in the first round. Buffalo is on the clock here. Their pick might be in. I don't think in the real draft it's too early for Mason Taylor. But how this board is fallen, I have too many players I like more than Mason Taylor that he's probably not an option for me right here, unless I trade down. Siobhan Revel just went. You don't say his first name's not Siobhan. I actually heard it on ESPN. It's I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't remember, but it was a weird pronunciation. But the ECU corner goes to the Bills. I was hoping they took a corner. I obviously think Azariah Thomas would have been the better pick there. Yeah, I thought they were going to take a corner, but really thought it might be Azariah Thomas. I like him better. Yeah, I got some players on my board here now. I'm guaranteed to pick one at 39. And actually, with the amount of guys on the board here, let me take Revel off. This is going to be a tough choice. It's going to be a tough choice. Let me pull my board up. Only one of my guys is gone. Actually, two of my guys have been taken. Tyleek Williams got taken, and Nick Amanawore got taken. But two of my top players are still there. If I can land both, maybe I say no trade down. Gray Zabel's there too. Donovan Jackson. There's a lot of players here. This is interesting, guys. I can't believe Omarion Hampton hasn't went, to be honest. That one's surprising to me. I can't believe that one. New England's up. Listen, if actually they might make my pick for me. So there's two guys here I love. Look, I love Donovan Jackson, Naj, but you're missing. There's two other guys on the O-line I have right there with them, though. There's a couple O linemen in this spot. Gray Zabel's on the board. So is an Alabama offensive lineman. I'm oh, let's see. Are they typing yet? Yes! This is a home run pick right here, boys. This is a home run pick for the Bears. I'm typing this one in instantly. Can anyone guess who I'm taking? I don't think anyone's guessing this one. Let me just double. He didn't get picked, right? Am I crazy? No, it's in. This is about to be sweet. New England took wide receiver Jaden Higgins. They took wide receiver Jaden Higgins. Booker was my backup option, guys. I love Booker, but Viz said it, baby. Viz knows. Viz knows. The pick is in. I'm typing it in. It's in. Pick 39. The Chicago Bears are landing Texas A&M defensive end Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton, you are a Chicago Bear, baby. Oh, and now if that other name you guys are talking about falls one more pick, maybe I don't trade down. Let me reach out. Although Nick Scorton, baby. All right, let me see. Let me have you guys grade that one. We'll have you grade the Nick Scorton pick because that one I'm happy about. That was one of the two guys. If I was going to trade up, it was going to be for Scorton or Nick Emanaware. Let me just add this. I know SEC edges are, you got to like them. I mean, you got to like them. But all right, polls up. Nick Scorton comes to the Chicago Bears, defensive end, Texas A&M, round 2. My guy. I love this pick, man. Oh, Minnesota just traded up. I didn't even see that. Who are they taking? They could take Hampton. They got Aaron Jones, but they could use a running back here. I don't know. Don't take my guy. We'll see what the trade offer is. I think I'm in a good spot to trade back, but I think his guy's off the board. Oh, is your guy gone? Hold on. I think their guy's gone, so there's no trade offer. Let me just put the word out. I'm ready to make my pick. Oh, they took Gray Zabel. Ooh, Gray Zabel goes to the Vikings. Okay. Let's see. Oh, his guy's gone. Okay, no trade deals on the table. Let me see. Green Ninja. Totally. Let me see. What did I miss? I'm thinking the same thing there, Brandon. That's my thought process. There's probably two guys I would. The guys I would be leaning for here would be Tyler Booker, Tyleek Williams, or Donovan Jackson. I like all of these players. I think Tyler Booker's probably my favorite, though. I think Tyler Booker's probably my favorite. He could in college. Can he in the NFL? I don't know. That's a tough question, and I wouldn't want him to. So it's tough. Williams who? Oh, I don't know. I think I think Tyler Booker is going to be a stud here. I think this is perfect opportunity. I'm actually doing. I'm taking Tyler Booker. Okay. With the 41st. No, I went Ashton Jeanty in round 1. 2025. Oh, Tyleek did get picked. You're right. Tyleek is gone, so I can't even consider Tyleek. You're right. No, that's a good call. Darius Alexander would be the other guy. Yeah, it's definitely Tyler Booker. Chicago Bears select Tyler Booker is a Chicago Bear. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, Tyler Booker. I'm putting it in, boys. It's Tyler Booker. We started out here. Ashton Jeanty, Nick Scorton, Tyler Booker. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. See, hey, look, the Cardinals GM just said it. They're actually kind of criticizing the Vikings here. They're saying they didn't like the Zabel pick. Not that they hated it, but that Tyler Booker is a better player. And we took and then I took Booker, and they're like, see, there goes Booker. They called it a steal. The Dolphins GM said that's 3 steals for Swift. All right, all right. Tyler Booker, Ashton Jeanty, and Nick Scorton. I would absolutely love this draft. I mean, this is a home run. See, why don't we need Booker? What do you mean we don't need Tyler Booker? You guys realize the players get hurt, right? Jonah Jackson got hurt last year. Drew Dahlman got hurt last year. Braxton Jones got hurt last year. 3 of our 5 offensive linemen missed the season due to injury. So while I don't know if we need to reach and pick an offensive lineman at pick 10 if they're not the best player on the board, here in the second round, there's going to be a couple offensive linemen worth selecting. Hey, that's what I'm thinking, JC. I'm looking at 2 positions right now for round 3. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking defensive tackle or tight end. The other 2 options would be safety or left tackle if they fell. That's what I'm looking for in round 3. That's basically what I'm looking for. I mean, if Mason Taylor falls, that would be a shoe-in. If someone like Omar Norman Lott, the defensive tackle, falls, that would be a shoe-in. Booker can play. Listen, here's the thing with Booker. He's definitely a guard prospect, but he has longer arms than Will Campbell. Now he's not the athletic. His athleticism is what holds him back. He scored like a really low RAS score. I don't even remember what it is. Oh, Donovan Jackson's going here. See, look, this is a perfect spot, and I think this could be how it goes in the draft too. Look at these offensive linemen here. Oh, wow. Oh, Ariante Ursary went, and then Donovan Jackson went. So 4 straight offensive linemen off the board here. You got Gray Zabel, you got Tyler Booker, you got Ariante Ursary, you got Donovan Jackson. I think all 4 of those players are in play for the Chicago Bears in round 2. They're all 4 going to go somewhere in this range, and I think we should look at drafting any one of them. James, I would love that. I think he's too talented to fall, but based on where he is on some of these draft boards, maybe it's possible. No, I can't consider moving up now. I didn't get any extra picks, so right now we got pick 72 and pick 150, and that's pretty much it until the 7th round. So this draft's trading up is, I don't think right now trading up is an option. I think in order to trade up, here's what the Bears would have to do. They would have to make multiple moves. If you trade down in round 1, that opens up the possibility for you to trade up maybe even multiple times on day 2. So trading down on round 1 would be great. I see Muck Muck and Greek both said they like Ursery over Booker. Ooh, Dallas Cowboys. Look, if they could land Hampton in round 2, I don't think there's any chance that happens, but hey, that'd be a steal. That'd be a steal. What I'll say about Ursery, the reason why I don't like Ursery, let me rephrase that because I like Ursery. He's probably my 4th rated tackle in this whole class. But I'm always open to other opinions. And when I mentioned Ursery, Greg Gabriel told me that what he didn't like about Ursery is that he's really stiff. He's got stiff upper body, and he doesn't have that natural knee bend. So I don't take people's opinions and just accept them like a lot of people do. A lot of people will hear that and just accept it. I don't do that. What I did is I went back and then watched Ursery's tape with that in mind. And I saw it. He's definitely pretty stiff. Does that mean I don't think he can be a good tackle? No, I do really like Ariante Ursery. But if I'm comparing these two players, Tyler Booker and Ursery, I think Booker is probably a much safer prospect. He's a guy who's probably going to be a 10 to 15 year starter at guard and probably multi-year Pro Bowl type player. And you're pretty much guaranteed that with Tyler Booker. Ursery, you have a guy who maybe he ends up being a swing tackle. Maybe he ends up being a good left tackle. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just a backup most of his career. I don't know. I can't project exactly what he's going to do. Yeah, New Harper says it there. Booker probably has the best anchor in the draft. And you guys know I love pancakes, right? Tyler Booker he led the entire nation with like 94 pancakes in 2024. He smashes people, so I love it. I don't, Steely, I don't know what is wrong with, how is Karan not a serious backup due to his health? He's 100% healthy last year. I don't know. You're still living in, when we're going back to last year, that should have just been a red shirt season for him because when we drafted him, we knew he wasn't healthy. So, but now he's healthy. He's 2 years removed from his injury, and he's going to have a full mini camp, a full preseason, and a full training camp. And at that point, if you're not counting on him, what the hell are you doing? So, I mean, I completely disagree with that. I think you have to see what you have in Karan Amagaji, and he has to get a ton of snaps in preseason this year. That doesn't mean he's going to count on him to be a starter or anything, but I have to disagree with that one. Ricky, I don't know if you missed it, but Isaiah Bond got arrested yesterday. You might want to Google that and figure right now he's got 2 weeks to clear his name before the draft. But yeah, it's tough. Round 2's been crazy. Look at these players, though, guys. Tyleik Williams, right? Nick Emanowore, Nick Scorton, Gray Zabel, Tyler Booker, Donovan Jackson. I love them all. Oh, Derek, that's a good question. I'm probably as big of a Princely fan as there is. So my reasoning for this is right now Scorton is easily a more well-rounded prospect. Scorton's a pass rusher who can also defend the run. Princely is a guy who has a lot of pass rush upside, but right now he's not a good run defender. So Scorton's just better. But on top of that, Scorton's the youngest defensive end prospect in this draft. So when you have a guy that's that advanced and that young, I think he's just a home run prospect. I have Scorton in my top 15 players. Oh my goodness. No, why do you guys listen, guys? I got to address this. I like Nick Scorton. I'm sorry. I like Princely Umanamielen. I like Landon Jackson. Neither of those players are even close to the prospect that Nick Scorton is. If you're looking at my top 50 big board, right? Nick Scorton is setting at about number 15. He'd be somewhere between 15 and 20, right? Whereas Princely Uman is going to be somewhere around 35 of 40, same range where Landon Jackson is going to be. Yes, they would be good picks at pick 40, but not better than a guy who I have as top 15 on my board. So I have to explain that one. Carson Schweisinger went, TJ Sanders went, and Benjamin Morrison, the corner out of Notre Dame. I think Scorton can be a speed rusher. I think people are here's what you got to do with Scorton, okay? Here's what you guys are missing on this one, right? And me and Greg Gabriel actually talked about this, I believe, right? Go back to 2023. And this is what you have to do a lot of times with prospects in college. You can't just grade them based on one season because coaches ask them to do certain things. In 2023, Scorton was at Purdue. He had 10 sacks that year. He played at 255 pounds, and he was a speed rusher. Now, what people are remembering, and what you guys seem to think in chat, is that Scorton's not a speed rusher because this season, Texas A&M had him bulk up to 280 pounds, and he only got 5 sacks this year, but he played the run much better. But you're asking yourself, what player are you getting with Nick Scorton when you draft him? Well, at the combine, what did he weigh? 257 pounds, which puts him back on track to be the 10 sack a season guy he was at Purdue. And what are NFL teams going to want from him? Do you think they want the 10 sack a season guy, or do you think they want the 5 sack a season 280 guy? I think they're going to be perfectly fine with Nick Scorton playing somewhere between 255 and 265 and being a 10 sack a season type of guy in the NFL. And I love Nick Scorton. My biggest question with Texas A&M is what the hell were they doing on that defensive line? To me, it feels like they didn't know what they were doing. They had Shamar Stewart. They had Nick Scorton. They had Shamar Turner. And they still couldn't get production on that defensive line. So I question what that defensive line coach was doing. We got my guy, Ashton Jeanty, in round 1. Ashton Jeanty fell to us. It was actually a surprise. Did not see that one coming. Jordan Birch is another good player. I'd like to see him. I think with the way the board's falling right now, defensive tackle should definitely be in play in round 3. Tight end should be in play. And if an offensive tackle falls, we'll look at some of the offensive tackles that are still available. I'll swap it over to PFF real quick. Oh, actually, Zabel's gone. Jackson. Oh, Hampton's gone. I didn't update the board. Hold on. Scorton's gone. TJ Sanders is gone. Who else? Let's go to tackles, though. I just want to look at the tackles here. All right, so we know Ursery's gone, and we know Donovan Jackson is also gone. So when we're looking at tackles, Ozzie Trapilo is a guy that Raiders take it. The Raiders took a cornerback, Jahdae Barron from Texas in round 1. So still a couple good offensive tackles on the board. A couple guys I like here. Ozzie Trapilo wouldn't be a bad developmental tackle. Wyatt Milam's a good player. Jonas Savaniai, this guy can play right tackle, but I like him better at guard. But here's the 2 guys that are sleepers. Charles Grant out of William and Mary and Anthony Belton out of North Carolina State. Both of these guys had really good Senior Bowls. Here's my comparison for Ashton Jeanty. Muck asks, if we take Ashton Jeanty, what do we do with Swift? They're somewhat similar. First off, I don't think we shouldn't care at all about DeAndre Swift when it comes to who we pick in this draft, because Swift might not be here next year anyway. Travion Henderson and Xavier Watts just went off the board. But basically, my comp for Azariah Thomas, good pick by the Seahawks. That's a good pick. But my comp for Ashton Jeanty, he's like a Marshall Faulk. He can run with power, but he can also be that third down weapon in the receiving game as well. So it just depends on how they want to use him. But with DeAndre Swift, you'd use it exactly how they did in Detroit. Ashton Jeanty would be the early down running back. He would get the ball the most. But then DeAndre Swift would come in as a change of pace guy and a weapon who can catch passes out of the backfield. And I think they'd be a really good combo for at least a year or two. I think that'd be a great mix, though. That's my opinion on that one. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I guess I can update my banner. Let me update my picks for you guys. Round 1, pick 10. We landed running back Ashton Jeanty. Round 2, pick 39. We landed defensive end Nick Scorton. And then round 2, pick 41, we landed guard Tyler Booker. I would write Ryan Poles a thank you note if this draft turned out this way, honestly. I would. Now, so the picks are now going to scroll across the bottom. At least my picks are updated on there. Azariah Thomas just went. Who just went? Okay, that was the last pick. No trade offers. Nobody's interested in cooking anything up. I don't really have the capital to make moves now. My best opportunity would be maybe moving down a little bit from 72, but I don't know if anybody's going to want that. Yeah, I like Xavier Watts. That's a good player. I think Travion Henderson in Cincinnati, that's a good fit too. It's a good fit too. Yeah, I love this draft. I think it's a good draft. Let me 20 second. I'm going to grab a water. I'll quickly show you guys my picks from last year. Let's just take a quick look at my last 2 drafts. Over the last 3 years, I've taken 3 players that Poles actually ended up drafting. Caleb Williams, Karan Amagaji, and Jaquan Brisker. I also would have drafted Rome Odunze, Darnell Wright, and Jervon Dexter, but they were all taken before my pick. But here's a quick look at the last 2 drafts. I actually love how both of these turned out. Always a really fun time, and I've traded down both of the last 2 years. But this is what the last 2 drafts look like. Let's go ahead and get back to the live Legacy mock draft. Missed 2 picks just went off the board really quick. Cam Scatabo from Arizona State going ahead of Caleb Johnson. That one's interesting to me. That one's interesting. And then Marcus Mbo, the tackle from Purdue. I think he's a guy who's going to have to move to guard in the NFL. Just another one of those guys who doesn't have probably the arm length to stay at tackle. I see him as a guard. Fanning. I like Fanning, the tight end. I'll tell you the guys, the tight end I like, who's kind of like, I've even seen people calling him the mini Tyler Warren. I don't know if you guys have heard this name, but Jalen Conyers. He's a tight end from Texas Tech. He has run the Wildcat. He has thrown touchdowns, and he's ran touchdowns. He's just an interesting player, and that's a guy I definitely keep an eye on. But one name that's interesting here, with how the tight ends are falling, Elijah Arroyo is still there, right? Mason Collins is still there. Is there a chance Mason Collins falls 20 more picks to 72? In fact, all the people questioning me not taking. Look, I want you guys to remember this on draft day, because Landon Jackson, I really like him. I do not think he goes in the top 40 picks. We'll see, but I don't think there's any chance he goes in the top 40. I just don't see it. Yeah, Mason Taylor, he's the tight end out of LSU. We actually brought him in for a top 30 visit. Really good player. He reminds me of Sam Laporta. Ooh, I think this is a little bit high for Josiah Stewart. I will say that. Josiah Stewart's an undersized edge rusher. I do like Landon Jackson. Landon's a good player. I think he can play 3 tech. He can play edge. He can hold up against the run. He still has a lot of development to do, though. And this edge rusher class is so stacked. I think people are just discounting how many good edge rushers there are. I mean, Princely Umanmielen, that's another guy. Like, they both have first round talent, but they're going to go on day 2, in my opinion. I'm not a big JT Tui fan. I like JT Tui, and I've tried to be a fan of him for the last few years. But to me, I think he's a third round pick. I would rather have Jack Sawyer if we're taking an Ohio State edge rusher there. But actually, if we're taking an Ohio State player in round 2, I would much rather prefer Donovan Jackson or Tyleik Williams. Yes, Princely is still on the board. Princely has not gone. I mean, I could even double down on edge if Princely falls there. I mentioned Trapilo. I think he'd be a good fit at 72. I don't know if he falls, though. I don't know how far he falls. Are you talking about Sebastian Castro, the safety out of Iowa? I like him. I probably have him somewhere just outside of my top 50. I've finished my top 50 pretty much for my big board this year, and he's on my players that are just outside of that. So I don't know exactly where he's ranked, but he's not in my top 50. He's just out of it. But I like him. Top left tackles remaining. I can show you guys that again. We have Ozzie Trapilo from Boston College. It has Wyatt Milam listed, but he's a guard. Cameron Williams is listed, but he's just a right tackle. The top 3, I'll go ahead and type it in chat too. Okay, here's the top 3. You have Ozzie Trapilo from Boston College. And then you have Charles Grant from William and Mary. And then Anthony Belton from NC State. Those would be our top 3 guys who could potentially play left tackle. Yeah, Bob, I'm probably not. There was a lot of chatter about Princely Umanmielen and Landon Jackson. I was just more commenting that I think there's definitely a chance they could even fall to pick 72. Emory Jones is another tackle available late. Holland Pierce out of Rutgers, another guy that's down the board a little bit. There's a couple safeties left. My top 2 safeties on the board right now with Xavier Watts gone are Kelvin Winston from Penn State and Andrew Makuba from Texas. And then I have the Iowa safety, Castro. A tight end would be decent. I think there's a couple positions I'm choosing between here. I don't think we have a major need at any of them, but we could use depth at all of them. And we could use help at all of them. Those positions would be defensive tackle, safety, and then probably offensive tackle as well. So you got offensive tackle, safety, DT. Just what Greek Ninja just said right there, yeah. Those are probably the 3 positions I'd be looking at. Billy Bowman is probably my 4th safety on the board right now. I kind of agree with that, Kevin. We don't need an offensive tackle, but we could use one. Hey, there he goes. Landon Jackson, pick 55 to the Chargers. I think that's a great spot for him. I think this is right around where he could go. And it's not that I don't want people to take me wrong. I don't dislike Landon Jackson at all. I just think Nick Scorton is easily a tier above him, at least on my rankings. And I've put a ton of work into my rankings this year. Deion Walker is a guy, man, he's a tough guy to rank. So when before the Senior Bowl, right? If I go back a couple of months here, I do like Chris Paul Jr., Ricky. As far as linebackers go, I just haven't put too much time into scouting them. I've watched a little bit of his tape, but not a ton. I haven't felt like scouting linebackers a ton. When it comes to Deion Walker, though, when you go back to pre-Senior Bowl, he was probably one of my favorite day 2 prospects. He just got exposed at the Senior Bowl, and then you had to go back and I had to go back and watch his tape, and you see more of the same. He plays too high. His pad all young defensive linemen play with their pad levels too high, but he always plays with his pad level too high. He needs to just completely be reworked, and he needs a lot of development. But his potential, Deion Walker has the size and athleticism to be a monster. So I like him. They're just coach is going to have to work with him. I don't know where he goes in the draft. Hey, Kevin, welcome, my man. Appreciate you. Swinson is really good. I have him right there with Princely, Umon Mielen, and Landon Jackson. So he's with those two guys as far as like, I think they're day 2 edge rushers. Swinson could go anywhere off the board right now. This is a perfect range for him. We could even take him at 41. It just depends on what defensive end we like, which one fits what Dennis Allen is looking for. Let me see. Hey, no problem, brother. Too much DoorDash. That's something a lot of us could probably get with. Darius Alexander is another player. I think this draft is just showing it. So far, this has fallen really well as far as the talent we have here on day 2, especially on the defensive line and the interior offensive line. This is what we're going to see on day 2. You're going to see edge rushers, you're going to see defensive tackles, and you're going to see interior offensive line. Guys like Tyler Booker, Gray Zabel, Donovan Jackson, a lot of good players. Pat Bryant's a sleeper of mine. I must have missed. Someone asked a question about him. I like Pat Bryant. I do think the 3rd is a bit too early for him, though. Yeah, I don't think Jack Sawyer's a nose tackle. I mean, Jack Sawyer is a defensive end, so keep him where he's at. Wide receiver would be an option. My problem is at this point, with the wide receivers we brought in this offseason, we brought in 3 wide receivers. We brought in Olamide Zaccheaus. He's our slot receiver. We brought in Devin DuVernay, who's a deep threat and a kick returner. And then we also brought in Miles Boykin, who is a big red zone threat and a guy who was a 3rd round pick and offers some upside. So I think right now, wide receiver, we're setting pretty good. That's with Tyler Scott, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze also on the roster. So I don't have wide receiver as one of those 3 needs, but if we can get a really good wide receiver, I wouldn't pass him up. I don't know if I'll be able to trade back. So far, I haven't had a lot of offers. There's not been a lot of people trying to trade up. We'll have to see how the board falls here. I'll put out some feelers in a couple minutes. If I can get an offer and I can move down and get an extra pick, I'm definitely willing to do it. Let me see. Let me put out some feelers. I put it out there. Because I haven't been able to pull off a trade this whole draft. Oh yeah, Braden Swinson's gone. I like him. That's a good pick by Carolina too. Jalen Noel is another guy. He fits a need for the Bears as far as how he'd fit in this wide receiver room. But yeah, Muck said it. Like, we still have Tyler Scott, who we haven't even seen what he can do. Maybe he can perform a lot better in this offense with Ben Johnson, with Caleb Williams in a better O-line. But the big thing Tyler Scott has to do if he wants to stay on this roster is become a better blocker. So he has this off season to do that. Yeah. Anyone? I don't know if I've mentioned Alfred Collins a lot. I think mainly because I'm not trying to jinx it. I am a little um superstitious, but two of the players who really stand out that would be home run selections at pick 72 to me would be Alfred Collins and Mason Taylor. So you got Mason Taylor, the tight end. You got Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle. You guys are on it. The chat is on it. And the other guy might be Kelvin Winston, the safety from Penn State. Like, those are just three really good players that fit needs. If I can get one of those guys in round 3, yeah, Mason Taylor is still on the board. We're only about 13 picks away. So, I mean, yeah, if one of those guys can fall, it'd be a home run. Let's see. Dolphins GM. We'll wait. Someone offered me. I'm getting an offer. People want to offer me players for pick 72. I don't want no players for pick 72. I'm not trying to take one of your draft busts. That would be, yeah, Elijah Arroyo. I don't think there's any way he really falls that far. I think Arroyo is someone in the NFL is really going to like him. Yeah, I think Alfred Collins at pick 72. I mean, that would be a stud pick. That's another killer one. Look, another interior offensive lineman, Tate Ratledge. Vernon Broughton. That's a guy who I have as a 5th round pick. I would take him in round 5, not in round 3. But his teammate Alfred Collins, that's the guy. I'm just putting the offers out there. I don't actually pull the trigger on a trade until I'm on the clock and see who's actually there. But I like to put out offers and make potential agreements. That's a good name. Aeneas Peebles. If he fell to round 5, I think that'd be a good choice. That really depends on what I take in round 3. Harold Fannon's another one. I think Harold Fannon and Jalen Conyers. I don't know if it's Conyers, whatever it is. The Texas Tech tight end. I really like him too. Terrence Ferguson too. Another guy no one's even talking about. T. Ferg from Oregon. Another good tight end. So I don't know if tight end is a huge need, but this draft is so killer at tight end that right now it's looking really good. He's trying to offer me 2 players. I was like, bro, I don't want players for the pick. I'm live streaming. If I trade the pick away, I got no pick to make. I'm not trying to get players that I don't even like. Sorry. I love it, but no. Can't do it. Can't do it. Do you think Shiloh Sanders gets drafted? Probably due to his name alone. I think he probably gets picked at least latest 7th round, but I like Shiloh Sanders as a player. I think he'd be a good developmental safety. I would not mind. If he's there in round 7, go ahead and give me some Shiloh Sanders. I think my only worry with that is he going to be an issue? Based on what I've seen from Shiloh, he seems like a good dude. But is his dad going to want him to play with his brother? Or is it going to be a media thing? I don't know. So I don't know what to think about that, but I do think he will get drafted unless Dion has something worked off under the table that he wants to go undrafted just so he can join whatever team Shadur's on. He's offering me linebacker Christian Harris and defensive lineman Danico Autry for the pick. Oof. Yeah. Have you looked at Jaw Joyner, the edge from Minnesota? A little bit. He's not a guy I've studied a ton, but I have studied him. Poles is doing his due diligence. Who are we talking about? CJ West is another player I really like in round 3. Wait, who you guys know weighing? What did I miss? Is it something I said or something someone said in chat? I feel like Detroit has had more than 2 minutes here. What's up, Detroit? Ooh, they're running out of time right now. 30 seconds, Detroit. What are you guys doing? Oh, yeah. No, I'm not trading for the players, yeah. I said the trade and then immediately forgot it. Yeah, I immediately just it went in one ear and out the other. Like, yeah, I didn't want anything to do with either of those players. Thank God you're not Ryan Poles. Hey, I've been on the same frequency as him. But hey, Ray, I gotta ask, man, what do you not like about this draft? I just gotta ask, what do you not like? I think this would be a dream draft for the Bears. I don't know what would be to dislike about this. I guess you could hate on Jeanty, but I still don't know how you would hate the whole draft. If we got Nick Scorton and Tyler Booker, I don't know. I think if you're mad, you just want to be mad. I don't know. At that point, I'm like, I don't know, man. You're just mad. I remember that. I remember him at Indiana. I'm good. I like the picks, man. I think these picks would be killer. I think Booker, to me, that pick is just, it's another one of those. He was a guy who I have in my top 25 overall players. And if you can get a top 25 player in round 2 at pick 41, it just makes too much sense to me. Their time is up. The Commanders are on the clock, actually. They've been passed. The Commanders are on the clock and have made a pick. The Commanders jumped them. They're taking Olu Oladejo. The Lions guy's in the chat. He said he's making his pick, but he hasn't made it yet. He said might have connection issues. Yeah, I love Booker, man. He's just a really good player. He's fun to watch. We're about 12 picks, 10 or 11 picks away. I don't even know where we're at right now because we're skipping picks. Olu Oladeju's going. No, he's making his pick, but he just got skipped. We haven't seen a draft skip since the 2000. Was that the 2006 or 2005 draft when the Vikings time ran out and they got skipped for a pick? They did that in the top 10. It was like pick 8. Hey, Bear Down Podcast, I have a video dropping probably an hour from now. Right after this video is done, I'm going to release it's done. I have a video breaking down the 4 prospects I believe are the shoe-in players for the Bears at pick 10. But if those 4 players are gone, I also break down what our options are after that. Stay tuned for that. It'll be live in about an hour, guys, after I'm done with this. Breaking down who the Bears are going to get at pick 10. Yeah, Greek, I feel the same way, man. And I feel like that's the position we're in. It's probably not going to be anywhere near close to these 3 players, right? The 3 players I have, it's not going to be those 3, right? But we're in a position where we're going to get a really good player at pick 10, and then we should be able to get 2 really good players at pick 39 and 41 as well. Players that a lot of people might not think are going to be there. I even think it's possible that we trade up from 39. If someone we really want, like if Kenneth Grant is on the board or something, we might trade up a few picks. Or if we don't go running back in round 1 and we really want Quinshawn Judkins or Travion Henderson, maybe we trade up a couple picks. But it's definitely possible. Oh, the Lions took Jack Sawyer. So they went with an edge. Jack Sawyer, another good player. I like Jack Sawyer. He's just a good football player, good character, good football player. He's strong. He can rush the passer. He can set the run. I like Jack Sawyer. What's the next position to need? I think defensive tackle, safety, left tackle, and maybe you can throw linebacker in there. I think linebacker might be on that list as well. Those four: defensive tackle, tight end, safety. I think linebacker too. They just mentioned it. Maybe we could take a linebacker. You got to take Jackson. You talking about Landon Jackson? He's already gone. Donovan Jackson's gone. What other Jackson would he be talking about? I don't know. Oh, there went Alfred Collins. Great pick by the Steelers, man. Great pick by the Steelers. That's a great pick. You got to give them credit for that. I had to compliment him on that one. That's a good pick. Oh, definitely. Hey, Ray, that question right there, edge rusher for sure. I think edge rusher for sure. I think in this year's draft, there's two reasons for this. It's not just that it's a bigger need, because we have our starting left tackle for this year. We have Braxton Jones, and we have a developmental guy behind him, Karan Amagaji. At defensive end, we just have Dio Odengbo, and Austin Booker. But the problem is when you look at this year's draft, it's one of the best edge rusher drafts in NFL history. It's not a good left tackle draft. So I think we have to take advantage of the talent in the draft and get an edge rusher. Next year's draft is much better for left tackles, where if Braxton leaves and Karan doesn't work out, we can take a left tackle in the first round next year. There's going to be a lot of good ones. So we don't need to, but we could still use a left tackle. I'm not saying let's not take a left tackle, but it comes down to how the board falls. Yeah, I like Jack Sawyer, man. He's just a good football player. Linebacker is, it depends on what Dennis Allen wants. Do we need more talent and more depth at the position? Yes. But our starters are set. Like Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards are going to be our starters this year. So that's tough. I don't know. I don't know if we need a linebacker, but we could use one. I think people are forgetting about the name Noah Sewell. He hasn't done much for us yet, but he was a decently high draft pick. I mean, a 4th or 5th round pick, and he does have some potential. Let's not completely forget about Noah Sewell. He was a really good player in college. Let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't take a tackle just to take a tackle, but depending on how the board falls, if we have it, like if Josh Connerly somehow falls to pick 39, I think that's something you got to consider. And that's the position we're in. That's what Ryan Poles has done. He's put us in that position where, guess what? We have the flexibility to where whatever really good player falls to us, we can take them. And that's why I took Tyler Booker, because I believe we might not need a guard right now, but if you can get Tyler Booker with your 3rd pick, a guy that's probably going to be a starter for 10 years, you got to do it. Ozzie Trapilo, there went my developmental tackle. I liked Ozzie for pick 72. I would have liked Ozzie there. Let's move down. Let's see where the Dolphins are picking at, because the Dolphins are the one team. They're at 85. So I'd be going down 13 picks. No, Connerly's not. No. Connerly went a long time ago. Connerly went in the first round, pick 29. But I was saying if he's a guy who could fall to pick 39 in the real draft. And that's something we'd have to consider. It didn't happen here, but it's something that Connerly's a guy who could fall. And he didn't in this draft, but if he does, then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, take that left tackle. So it's all about how the board falls. And this board, unfortunately, didn't fall to the point where I could take a left tackle, really, unless I wanted Ariante Ursary. Yeah, apparently we talked about Mike Green. Some of them were talking about it in the chat last night. A lot of people have Mike Green off their draft board. Surprised me a little bit, but at the same time, it didn't. We're almost in round 3, baby. I'm gonna have to update my board here. Hold on. All right, let's scroll up. I want to make sure I have the people that are gone. Okay. Ozzy Trapilo got picked. Darius Alexander got picked. Jaden Higgins got picked. Xavier Watts. Landon Jackson. Did Maxwell Harrison go? Oh, yeah, there he went. Packers got him. Good pick, Packers, you stupids. I don't like you guys, but that's a good pick. Braden Swinson went. I grabbed Tyler Booker, my boy. Cam Scatabo went. Oh, there's still some good players left, guys. Who got Travion? The Bengals got Travion Henderson. Has anyone taken Quinshawn Judkins yet? Wait a minute. Did they take Scatabo over Judkins? Timeout. No one is taking Quinshawn Judkins? Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. You are absolutely killing me. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, just a second. I'm updating the board, and then I'll go to the defensive tackles. I want to make sure there's nobody else. Did Jalen Royals get picked? Jalen Noel did. Tate Ratledge. Jack Sawyer. I want to update it so I don't have any guy. Usually they have a draft board. This year it's a new guy running the draft. I think the main guy is a little. I think he's maybe trying to train someone else. So he has. Oh, there went Princely Umon Mielen with the last pick. Stupid Eagles. The Eagles took him. Let's see, who else is gone. Ozzy Trapilo. Oladejo. Okay, I think I have it pretty set. Let me go to defensive tackles. What we have right now, best on the board: Omar Norman Lott, Tennessee. C.J. West, Indiana. Shamar Turner, Texas A&M. Josh Farmer, Florida State. Jordan Phillips, Maryland. Deion Walker, Kentucky. Aeneas Peebles, Virginia Tech. And Jamari Caldwell, Virginia. A lot of really good players on the board there. Who have I missed? Apparently I'm missing a couple. Josiah Stewart. Did I get Scatabo? Oh, okay. Marcus Mabo. Okay. Now I'm caught up. Okay, we're into round 3 now. Into round 3. Have my board caught up here. Just want to make sure I caught up. Go ahead. I can show you guys this too. Let me share this tab. This is what PFF has as the best available. Yeah, I have it right here. I have to update it manually though. I had to update it manually because they don't have one this year. So PFF has Kevin Winston, the safety, as the best available. Elick Aomanor, the wide receiver from Stanford. Demetrius Knight, Dylan Sampson, Caleb Johnson, Elijah Arroyo, Jalen Royals, Jared Ivey, Andrew Makuba, Quinshawn Judkins. Let's see here. CJ West, Mason Taylor down here, Jordan Birch, Chris Paul, Terrence Ferguson. We'll go up. I'll show you the defensive tackles now. We'll go by at tight end. You can see tight end. Look at this. A lot of tight ends here. Ooh. Bob, I like Ty Robinson. I have him a little bit further down my board. I would hope to get him in round 5. If he's there in round 5, I would go for it. Look at these tight ends, though, guys. My sleeper is way down here. Jalen Conyers. Woo! He's way down there. Jackson Hawes is a good blocker as well. But Gunnar Helm, Harold Fannin Jr., Terrence Ferguson, Mason Taylor, and Elijah Arroyo all still on the board. All right, let's look at offensive tackle. We got Charles Grant and Anthony Belton. Not really anything in there. Then we'll add defensive tackle to it. These are the best players overall. Norman Lott, CJ West, Mason Taylor, Elijah Arroyo, Shamar Turner. It's looking like defensive tackle or tight end with how it's falling right now. That's what it's looking like right now. We'll go back to the board, see if anything else happened. Oh, Jonah went. Offensive lineman from Arizona. First pick of round 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 picks left, boys. Okay. Until we're up. I'm going to consider a trade down here. With the talent on the board, though, we're in a good spot to trade down. We're in a good spot here. If I can get an offer. Let me message Miami. I'm messaging Miami. I'm just putting out the feelers on it. Seeing what they're looking at. Yeah, this is a deep draft at tight end. I'm with that 100%. I'm almost with that, Greek. That's probably what I would do. Hey, listen, Dobbsy. I would if I could go back in time, my absolute best draft would be I would keep exactly what I did in the second round the same, right? But in round 1, I would have taken Jalen Walker over Ashton Jeanty. And if I did that, that would set me up so perfectly to right here in round 3, grab either Caleb Johnson or Quinshawn Judkins. And it would be perfect. But unfortunately, I took Ashton Jeanty at pick 10. So I cannot take Judkins. It would be an absolute travesty if I took 2 stud running backs. I just can't do it. But I would have loved to do that. Yeah, I would have loved to, but I got Jeanty at 10. So, and then in round 2, here's what we got in round 2 for anybody that's late. Nick Scorton, defensive end from Texas A&M at pick 39. Tyler Booker, the guard from Alabama at 41. It was just how it fell. I wanted Nick Emanuware. I would have loved that. I also really liked Donovan Jackson. Hampton just fell too far. This just fell too far. Ooh, Darian Porter just went. Okay. Man, that's a tough one, Johnny Bravo. I like both of those safeties. I got to be honest. I'd be happy with either one of those guys. Andrew Makuba is the safety from Texas. Kelvin Winston's the safety from Penn State. He got hurt at the end of this year, missed the end of the season. But before Winston's injury, I had him ranked higher than Makuba. With his injury, it's a lot closer now. I have him pretty close. But I always kind of revert back to I liked Winston better when they were both healthy. So that one's close for me. I don't know. But I like both players. I wouldn't be mad at getting either one of those safeties. Jalen Royals, that's a good pick in round 3. Let me keep updating this. Okay, 70. He's gone. Jalen Royals is gone. Who's the other pick? Darian Porter. These guys are picking. They might be picking off the PFF board. I don't like the PFF board. They have some of these players ranked way too low. I wanted to use the ESPN one, but the ESPN one doesn't let you draft for all 32 teams, so I couldn't do it. They said only if the player they want is still there, James. And I just reached out to them and said, is the player still on the board as of now? And they haven't got back to me. And I asked him what he would offer, but no response yet. No response as of yet. But he said he's trying to move up for a specific player. So I have to know who it would be. It's probably one of the players we really like. We picked twice Sports from the Trenches. I just showed the picks. First round, if you guys missed that, Ashton Jeanty in round 1. Nick Scorton, Texas A&M pass rusher at 39. Tyler Booker, the Alabama guard at 41. And now we're looking with how the board fell here. Let me flash back to PFF. These are the best available players according to PFF. Man, with how running back fell, I honestly wish I wouldn't have grabbed Ashton Jeanty and I would have taken Tyler Warren first. Or not Tyler Warren, Jalen Walker. But we still got some safeties on the board. We got a lot of defensive line talent still on the board. But tight ends are also really standing out. Shadur went to... Where did Shadur go? Oh, he went to the Steelers. He fell to pick 21. He fell right to pick 21. Right to the Steelers. Right in their lap. Colston Loveland, a good pick to the Chargers. That's that Jim Harbaugh one. I'd actually root for that. It's not a bad pick. Let's see. Noel Williams, cornerback, just went. Okay. Noel Williams. That's where you want to go. I like it. I had him ranked a little bit lower. Probably a lot lower, but it's all right. 3 picks left. Man, this is setting... Defensive tackle looks good. Tight end looks good. But so does safety. All 3 positions look good right now. Just 3 picks out. This is going to be a tough call. Muck, the question is, this is what I asked people, because people were saying the same thing last night. When I was on the board at 10, people actually said, call the Steelers and trade down. If you look at the draft board, the teams picking 11 to 21, none of them need a quarterback. So unless someone trades up and jumps the Steelers, then there's really no shot. I don't know why they trade up. They don't have a second round pick this year. So they're already low on draft picks. But yeah, it is. I honestly think Shadur had a shot to fall that far. But with the Saints now maybe needing a quarterback, yeah, JC just said it. Derek Carr might be out for the season. So the Saints are now in the market for a quarterback. That might change things up. Maybe the Saints take him at 9 now. And that'd be good for the Bears. So, oh, yeah. If I can get listen, I don't even care who's on the board at that point. If I can get a first-round pick in next year's draft and add a third this year, I'm doing that no matter what. Sorry, Ashton Jeanty. Sorry, Tyler Warren. Sorry, Jalen Walker. Even Mason Graham. I'm sorry, but an extra first-round pick and a third in a draft with this kind of depth, I'd do it all day. 100%. Please let me do that. And that would be our chance to finally fleece the Steelers, because everyone says we shouldn't trade with the Steelers because they traded us Claypool and fleeced us. They got Justin Fields for just a 6th-rounder. So, honestly, yeah. Ty Felton, I'd say that's a bit high. That's a bit high. I'm probably not looking Ty Felton here. I'm thinking with the players on the board right now, let me tell you guys the guys I like, okay? I love defensive tackle, and we could use some help there. My top 2 guys, Omar Norman Lott out of Tennessee, CJ West out of Indiana. I think either of those guys would be a really good pick here. The Miami GM has said his player is gone. So no trade offer. Not looking like it. Ooh, not looking like it. So those are my 2 defensive tackles, Omar Norman Lott and CJ West. But then at tight end, Elijah Arroyo, Mason Taylor. Hey, what's up, Aldo? 32-man mock, man. These are real people making these picks. I'm just waiting for them to make their picks. It's a fun time, man. We're about to make our round 3 pick here. Yeah, that's a guy I'm eyeing him, but I got to watch the board here. I got to make sure he doesn't go. Let's go back to the Wyatt Milam went and Kobe Bryant went. One more pick, boys. 1 pick away. So far in this draft, we've landed Ashton Jeanty at pick 10. Nick Scorton, the defensive end out of Texas A&M at pick 39. And Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama at pick 41. I absolutely love this draft. And I think it showcases the talent that's going to be on the board in day 2. Probably not going to be the guys I picked, but one way or another, there's going to be some really good players early in day 2. It's going to be really fun. 1 pick away, baby. 1 pick away. I'm going to put out some feelers one last time to see if anybody wants to trade up for this spot. Aldo, my man, with the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. That's my man. I like Winston Jr. I do like Winston Jr. Last call on pick 72. Anyone? I told him the DMs are open. Hit me up for pick 72. I'm having a tough call here. Look, unless he takes one of my 2 players, I'm going to have a tough call between these 2 players. I might actually just have to let you guys decide in the chat. Might have to let you guys decide in the chat. Because this one's tough for me, man. This one's tough. I'm going to start another poll. If they're both here, who do I take? No, I'm not picking for all the teams. There are 32 people. There is a sports writer or super fan picking for each one of their respective teams. This is a Google spreadsheet. I just watched this. Night Owl is doing the updating, and all the picks are being made in a Discord. This is the 5th year I've been in this. It's been going for about 8 years. Last year, I did take Caleb Williams and Karan Amagaji. Unfortunately, Rome Odunze went too high, and I didn't have a chance at him. So that's why I traded down. All right, Mason. Come on, New Orleans, pick. Or Omar Norman. All right, I'm putting it up. I'm putting up the poll early. One of these guys might get picked. And if they do, I'm just taking the one that's still on the board. But those are my guys that I think are the options right here that stand out. I'll say right if those 2 guys weren't here, I would maybe be looking at a safety. Maybe looking at defensive tackle CJ West. Yeah, there's no offensive tackles really worth it. The offensive tackles are gone. Anthony Belton, maybe. But to me, I'd be looking at those 2 players, Mason Taylor or Omar Norman Lott. I think they stand out. They're easily the 2 best players on the board. If one of them doesn't get picked here, I'm going to have to make that decision. But if one of them gets picked, I just pick the other one. I think they're both perfect for us. If those 2 guys were gone, I think the 3 safeties would also make a lot of sense here. Think about the safeties on the board right now. You got Andrew Makuba from Texas. He could be an option here for Ryan Poles in the real draft. So could Kevin Winston from Penn State and Sebastian Castro from Iowa. No options yet for a trade back. I've put in multiple calls. The Dolphins wanted to move up, but apparently the guy they wanted is gone. So, yeah, James, that's something I'll be looking at. If I can grab Holland Pierce tomorrow in round 5, I think that'd be a perfect way to finish it if I can get an offensive tackle there. I might be sad if I don't land a defensive tackle, but oh well. I got Scorton, and guess what? Dio can move inside on passing downs, so that's not a big loss to me. I don't think we need a defensive tackle. It's just a really good year for defensive tackles. Oh, they might have wanted Wyatt Milam. That would have been a good pick. Keds would tell you Norman Lott. I like Norman Lott. I think Naj, I think you'd go with CJ West. Let me ask you, would you take CJ West over Norman Lott and Mason Taylor? I don't see Mason Taylor falling this far in the draft. I think teams might not need tight ends as much as they think they do. The need might not be there, but this year is so talented as a tight end class that these tight ends are going to go early. I don't see them falling that far. Deion Walker is down on my board. He's probably 3 or 4 defensive tackles behind, right? I have Omar Norman Lott, and then I have, after Omar Norman Lott, it would probably be CJ West from Indiana and Joshua Farmer from Florida State. I like Omari Caldwell. I think Shamar Stewart's still on the board too. I honestly didn't scout Shamar Stewart enough. I watched so much Texas A&M film, but I probably watched Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart almost every time. So he's a guy I probably should have watched more and just haven't. Omar Norman Lott can stop the run too. I just like him. He's a good play. Hey, Viz, have fun, man. Yeah, Shamar Stewart at this point, I think he'd be good as well. It's tough. There's a lot of good players on the board. I love this year's draft. I can't believe Quinshon Judkins is still on the board. What do these guys not like about Juddy? I don't know. First 3 picks, we got Ashton, Jeanty. We got Nick Scorton, the defensive end from Texas A&M. And we got guard Tyler Booker from Alabama. Incredible draft so far, if you ask me. No trades. I've tried. Nobody's really trying to make any good trades right now. I don't know how all these other trades have got pulled off. I've had a lot of rip-off type offers, but nothing crazy. Oh, yeah, they are scrolling. I forgot about that. My picks are scrolling across the bottom, guys, if you missed it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Check that poll, Swift. Oh, I didn't even look at it. What is they saying? Oh, my God, it's 50-50. Oh, you guys aren't helping me at all. Oh. That's it, chat. I don't know what to tell you guys, chat. Thanks for the help or not help. I did Shamar Stewart go? Let me check. I can do a double check. I think I'm sorry. Shamar Turner. I'm sorry, Shamar Turner. I said the wrong name. The other guy on the Texas A&M defensive tackle. Shamar Turner. I got to say, I'm leaning Mason Taylor. I think Mason Taylor is a starting tight end in the NFL. I think he's a top 50 player. I have him probably 5 or 6 slots. I don't know what's New Orleans doing here. Let me check. Oh, I am on the clock. Oh! Ready. I was staring at the spreadsheet. Okay, with pick number. Who are we taking, guys? Pick number 72 of the 2025 Legacy Mock. I got to make the pick. I don't know who they took. Did he not pick? Did Saints not pick? Did Saints not pick? I'm not seeing Saints pick. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. The Saints didn't pick. The Saints didn't pick. They got skipped. I can make it. All right. All right. Who we taking? Is it Omar Norman Lott or is it Mason Taylor? Mason Taylor's ahead. I'm taking Mason Taylor. All right. Mason Taylor, tight end, LSU. Oh, wait. No, wait. Do I? Man. All right. Oh, I want the defensive tech. This is close, guys. Let me check the poll. All right, Mason Taylor's ahead. You guys are making this pick, not me. You guys made it. Chat did it. Chat did it. It wasn't me. It was too close. I had to go with what chat said. I think I would be so torn on that. I'm just like you guys. I don't think you could be mad at either pick. I think either guy would be great there. Mason Taylor or Omar Norman Lott. I think, and here's the other thing I'll have to say here. I think there's a player in the 5th round who at both positions would be a good sleeper, right? If you're looking for a defensive tackle we can take tomorrow in round 5, I really like Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon. You also got Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. Oh, they're hating on me. They all wanted him. I tried to trade down, I tried to trade out. Hey, if they wanted him, they could have came and got him. Everyone's saying they wanted. There's 5 people in the chat saying they wanted Mason Taylor. I tried to trade down, guys. I tried. They didn't want to make me any offers. Can I trade back in? Yeah, let me see if there's any picks for sale. Hold up. Anybody trying to take a pick next year? 81 for a late 3rd and a 6th. Listen, let me talk to this Bengals guy. Let me try this Bengals guy. I'm going to try to make him an offer. 2026 3rd round pick plus. What's my pick? Number 150? What pick do I have? I don't even know what pick I have. Hold on. It's 150 something. 148 maybe? 148, yeah. All right. Maybe I'll offer him it. Let me just see. Let me just throw it out there. He's looking for a 3rd and a 6th. I'm going to give him a 5th and a 7th. Look. 2026 4th rounder, right? Plus number 148 plus 233 for, what does he got? 81. Damn it. It went away. What I have? I had it and it went away. Trade Taylor for a couple of picks. No one's offering it. I like Mason Taylor. I think either one of those picks would have been home runs. I tried to get a trade down. Nobody wanted it. Everybody wants to trade down. Nobody wants to trade up. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Look, so if I wouldn't have got Mason Taylor here, right? If you want to live in a world where we took Omar Norman Lott here, that's fine. And then there's 2 people in the chat are saying it. And then later you take Jalen Conyers, the Texas Tech tight end. I like that too. I would have been completely on board with that. In this situation, if you go with Mason Taylor, then you try to find a defensive tackle later, like Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon. Let me look at some of the defensive tackles that are going to be there later. Maybe a Vernon Broughton out of Texas, Jordan Phillips out of Michigan. What if Deion Walker falls or Aeneas Peebles? There's a lot of defensive tackles that we might still be able to get 1 or 2 of those later. Or Notre Dame's Riley Mills. There's some good players in this class. So either way you go there, I think we can take the other one in round 5 and turn out, and it's going to be good either way. It just depends on which player you think is the better player or which position you think is a much bigger need. Yeah, if I would have had a trade partner, man, I think it would have been perfect. Unfortunately, I don't know who the guy wanted, but whoever the Dolphins wanted, it wasn't there. I think it would have been perfect trade back where I was. I think it would have been a really good time because there was a lot of players on the board there. I could have moved back, got a 4th rounder, maybe a late 4th, and still got a guy I really liked a few picks later. I think that would have worked out really well. So that's it for me till round 5 now. Unless I pull off a trade, guys, I'm done till pick 148. Way down here. I tried to make some trades and get an extra pick, but it just never materialized. I took Mason Taylor, tight end. Pick 71 has not been turned in. I don't know if the Saints guy was here. I don't know if he's had something in real life come up, but so far he has not made his pick. I'd be super happy with this draft, man. All right, so I'm going to get this. Guys, I have another video coming out talking about our options at pick 10. I'll have it out in the next hour to half an hour. I don't know how long, however long it takes to upload to YouTube. Sometimes it takes a little bit. I think it's at least 10-minute long video. But I break down our top 4 options at pick 4. And then what we do if those options are gone. Our trade down scenarios, left tackle scenarios, and defensive end. So that video is going to be out soon. Make sure you guys watch out for that. Aeneas Peebles off the board. We're going to go back through the mock and just show people in case they're late what they missed. But this one's wrapped up. Our picks for the day are done. Ashton Jeanty was our pick yesterday at pick 10. Round 2 here, it fell. Really fell. I wanted Nick Emanowore or Tyleek Williams. Both those guys are off the board. I went with Nick Scorton, defensive end out of Texas A&M at pick 39. Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama at pick 41. Oh, yeah, I don't have my ticker updated. Let me update the ticker. There it is. That's why they don't know. Tight end, Mason Taylor, LSU. All right, look, now we got the ticker updated. These are the picks. After Nick Scorton and Tyler Booker, what it came down to in round 3 here, I was really deciding between 2 players, and I'm actually really surprised the other one isn't gone yet. It was between Mason Taylor, the tight end out of LSU, and Omar Norman Lott, the defensive tackle from Tennessee. I let chat decide. I put it down to a vote. The vote was literally deadlocked at 50-50, and my time was running out. The commissioner said I got 30 seconds. I looked back, and Mason Taylor took a slight lead, 52% to 48%. So I went with Mason Taylor, but don't blame me. I like both of those players a lot, but you guys got to blame chat because you guys made that pick, okay? I do like both of those players, so I would have been happy with either one. I think they were, especially if you can get them. I honestly, I think both of those players are good enough that they could be in the mix for pick 41. But when it comes, those players both being on the board at 72 made the decision kind of easy for me. Well, easy that it was one of those 2 players. But picking between them, that's a tough call. That's something that's, and Buck said it, chat's fault. I'm blaming chat. Don't put the blame on me, guys. You did it. No, I'm just playing. But I have another video that I've been hard on work on all week. It's going to be out in the next hour, guys. Keep an eye out for it. Our fantastic 4 prospects and what the Bears are going to do at pick 10. This one's over, wrapped up. I'll have a video recapping whatever happens on day 3 tomorrow. But the majority of the draft is done at this point. The 5th round pick does matter. I probably won't go live for that tomorrow unless you guys like beg me to or something. But I'll probably just post a video after that draft is done and let you guys know how I finished out the draft. Also, you can check in the description if you want this Google spreadsheet and follow the picks live. If you want to check an update and see how these picks fall, you can do that as well. Where is Plank? Yeah, let's blame Plank. Nah, we love Plank. He's probably working, man. Plank works all the time, man. That's a hard-working man. But I appreciate everyone who watched. Check out that video I have on the way later. And I did some Some incredible analytical breakdowns this week, talking about what a tight end does for a quarterback, what a running back means for a quarterback, position value, and a Caleb Williams video. Watch those two, guys. But stay tuned. Until next time,